guys, welcome back to Future Specs. I'm Wesley, and this video I'm going to be talking about and telling you guys about a Star Wars theory that I have about some characters that I think could show up in later projects with connections to Bad Batch and Obi-Wan, and what comics you should pick up based off of that. So, let's get into my theory. First, I just want to say that this is a theory, and I'm not exactly saying that this is what is going to happen. Just if Star Wars and Dave Filoni want to introduce this character in, I can see that they're already setting the seeds for being able to do that. So I'm not promising that this character is going to show up. This is just how I think they could do it. So the character that I'm going to be talking about is Galen Merrick, also known as Starkiller, from the Star Wars Force Unleashed games, which are awesome games, which if you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't played, you definitely have to go check them out. It's got an awesome story and awesome gameplay and stuff. But those games are technically not canon anymore, because when Disney took over Star Wars, they retconned them along with everything else, so now they're legends. So the character of Starkiller technically doesn't exist in canon anymore. But as I was watching Bad Batch, I kind of started formulating some ideas on what I think could happen with Omega, and then that kind of evolved into how I think the Starkiller could show up at some point. So first, let's lay the groundwork. Right now, episode 4 of the Bad Batch came out today, so we've got about 12 episodes left of the series, so there's still a lot of show left and story to tell. But they've given us a lot right now at the beginning. So first up, the Kaminoans are working on genetically enhanced clones, which are the Bad Batch, obviously. But when Nala Se is talking to Grand Moff Tarkin, Tarkin asks her how many special clones is there, and she answers with 5. So Tarkin assumes that this is the Bad Batch of Hunter, Wrecker, Crosshair, Tech, and Echo. But Echo is technically not one of the genetically enhanced clones. He was a regular clone, later turned into a cyborg. So that leaves one genetically enhanced clone we don't know of, which is Omega. Now, we haven't really been told what her special ability is yet. There's been a lot of assuming that she's just either really super smart, or she has all of the abilities of the other members of the Bad Batch, but I don't think that's what it is. I think that would just kind of be too obvious to do. And plus, Tech is already the super smart one, so why would they have 2 people like that, just from a story writing perspective? So I believe that she is going to be Force sensitive at some point, being the first Force sensitive clone. Now, why do I think this? Well, obviously we haven't seen her special thing, and what else is there special in the Star Wars universe besides being Force sensitive? And in the first episode, Caleb Doom showed up during the Order 66 sequence, which Caleb Doom later becomes Kanan Jarrus. So I have a feeling that he's going to come back into the series, either showing up on his own, or Hunter and the rest of the Bad Batch track him down once they figure out something's going on with Omega, and that he's going to end up training her or helping her unlock the Force within her or something like that. So that's how I think Force-sensitive clones are going to start, was with her. So a little background on Starkiller, if you don't know. He is the son of 2 Jedi Knights who were killed during the Great Jedi Purge, which is the event that happened after Order 66, where Darth Vader hunted down the survivors and killed those remaining Jedi. So when Darth Vader hunted down Galen Merrick's parents, he saw that the kid had immense powers with the Force, so he decided to take him and train him as his own secret apprentice. So Darth Vader kept Starkiller secret all these years as he trained him in the way of the dark side, because, the Sith have the rule of 2. So Darth Vader was still the Emperor's apprentice at this point, so he had to keep Starkiller secret. So how I think he could be brought into the future of Star Wars with these Disney Plus shows. So I think the Bad Batch is going to kind of set the groundwork for this, and then he might later show up in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. So spoilers for the first and second Force Unleashed games, but they're 12-year-old games at this point, so at the end of the first game, Starkiller has a change of heart, and he goes over to the light side, and he goes to try and rescue the Bail Organa and Princess Leia from Darth Vader and the Emperor, because they kidnap them because they're starting the rebellion. So that happens, and Starkiller eventually confronts Darth Vader and Palpatine. And in the canon ending of the game, Galen sacrifices himself for the senators to survive so they can go and start the rebellion. But it's revealed in the second game that Darth Vader took the body of Starkiller because Starkiller was immensely powerful in the Force, so him and Sidious didn't want to lose this power. So he brought his body to Kamino, where they attempted to clone him. But they were having problems to begin with because Force-sensitive clones had never been done before. So eventually they cloned a perfect enough version of Galen, who he gets all the memories of the original Starkiller back, so he's essentially the same person. And he realizes that, the dark side's evil and all of that, and that he's a Jedi. So he eventually escapes, and joins the rebellion again, and then the events of the second game happen. But while the first cloned version of Galen escapes, Darth Vader had secretly perfected a dark side version of Starkiller known as the Dark Apprentice, who was basically the exact same, but he was on the dark side instead of reverting back to the light side, and was still Darth Vader's apprentice. And at the end of the first game, both of these characters were still alive and out there at some point, but obviously Disney retconned everything, and they just straight up don't exist anymore. So with the Bad Batch setting up these Force-sensitive clones, so I could see maybe this character coming in the Obi-Wan series, because we know Darth Vader is going to be in it, and the series takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, which is around the same time that the games took place at. So I have a feeling that this could work out if Dave Filoni and all the other Star Wars producers wanted to bring this awesome character in. Because one of my main theories that I've talked about on our live shows before is I think the Obi-Wan series is going to be about Darth Vader hunting down Obi-Wan and maybe having the Inquisitors in there somehow. So Starkiller might be like Darth Vader's apprentice, or he could be part of the Inquisitors at some point. Which, if they wanted to go through the full storyline of Starkiller dying and then being cloned and brought back, they already have that groundwork with Force-sensitive clones in the Bad Batch. Or because they probably won't follow the story exactly, they could just go straight to the cloning part, or you might see him show up in Obi-Wan, then some awesome fight with him and Obi-Wan, Kenobi kills him, and then we get the cloning story, or it just ends there. Whatever, I'm not sure, but I just think it would be really awesome to see Starkiller come into canon, and because he's a really awesome character and is incredibly underused, so I think it would just be really awesome to see him. So now with that, let's get into his first comic appearance. So Starkiller's first appearance is in Star Wars Force Unleashed 1, which came out at the same time as the game, to promote it, obviously. Which it tells the same story as the game, so it's not really that special in story-wise, but it is his first comic appearance. Now, as far as my research has shown me that this is kind of a harder issue to find because it just wasn't ordered that much, I guess. And there is a variant, which is a mini ashcan version that came with the game and has a variant cover. And now that one is really hard to find because it obviously would have gotten beaten up with coming with the game. People wouldn't have cared about it as much. And now it's going for a couple $100, even for like a beat up copy, because it's just that rare. But I got the actual data here, so let's look at that. So according to the CGC census, there's only one 9.8 of this first issue trade paperback kind of thing. So obviously there's no sales data for graded copies if there's only the one book, which I'm sure whoever has it is holding on to it, because that's a really awesome book to have with Starkiller just being a great character. But raw copies, from what I can see, are selling on eBay for around $15 to $25 or so for near mint the copies. But a 9.2 of the mini comic sold for $200. And the one with the variant copy is selling for about like $600 or so raw. So that's just showing how rare it is and how expensive it can be. So this book is still relatively cheap. I mean, 25 bucks for a raw copy is pretty good. So if you're a fan of the character like me, this is a great book to pick up. Or if you want to follow with me on specking for him to show up in the future, which I hope happens, it's a great book to pick up now. And even if he doesn't show up, like I said, just an awesome book with an awesome story and cover of an awesome character. So that's my Star Wars theory on how I think Starkiller could show up in the future of these Disney Plus projects. So if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe and leave a comment down below for more videos every Wednesday and Saturday, and our live shows every other Sunday. So that's it for now, and see you guys later.